I grew up in Russia and I was very, very poor there. Homeless.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Like you and your family, or you were kind of like on your
It
own?
was my sister and I, and we had alcoholic parents.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, just a lot of neglect and definitely no money.
Oh, wow. And then what happened after that?
We were sent to the orphanage when I was 9 and she was 5. And from the orphanage, we were there for 3.5 years, and we were adopted to Portland, Oregon family to America. And that family, so all my teen years up to, young adults, they're very wealthy. So
So it was definitely a radical change between Russia and then here in the U.S.
yeah, definitely cultural change. And I got to see like being poor, which I still hold in me. It's still here, it's still in my heart. But also like the wealthy side, like if you work hard, if you really want to be wealthy, you can.
Tatiana, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks so much for asking. Thank you so much for your support and for allowing us to give you an interview. So let's get started. What is the highest level of education that you have?
I'm college.
Okay. For how long did you go to college?
2 years.
Okay. So you kind of got your associates.
I could have applied for associates, but I didn't.
Okay. And during that time, what were you going to school for? What was your degree?
Communications and minor in Russian.
Oh, wow. How would you consider maybe going back later on?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Now, what do you do for a living?
I'm a stay-at-home parent.
Excellent. Hey, that's honestly the hardest job in the world.
Thank you.
And trust me, there's a lot of benefits from that. So now, what social class were you growing up?
So in Russia, I grew up in Russia and I was very, very poor there. Homeless.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Like you and your family, or you were kind of like on your
It
own?
was my sister and I, and we had alcoholic parents.
Oh,
So yeah, just a lot of neglect and definitely no money.
oh, wow. And then what happened after that?
We were sent to the orphanage when I was 9 and she was 5. And from the orphanage, we were there for 3.5 years, and we were adopted to Portland, Oregon family to America. And that family, so all my teen years up to, young adults, they're very wealthy. So
it was definitely a radical change between Russia and then here in the U.S.
yeah, definitely cultural change. And I got to see like being poor, which I still hold in me. It's still here, it's still in my heart. But also like the wealthy side, like if you work hard, if you really want to be wealthy, you can. My adopted dad, he was very smart and he worked hard.
And
Yeah.
I think that's awesome how you got to see both sides of the spectrum, especially at an early age. I think that's very, very important. All right, now, what do your family talk about money?
Yeah, so not my biological family in Russia, a little bit my adopted family,
Okay.
but I was always aware of money situations. I understood that I was really poor in Russia. One of the things that happened is meat was really expensive. I literally didn't have any meat until I was 9 years old. So like I was aware of that. And then I was also aware of how much money my adopted parents had.
And then here in the U.S., it was completely different. So you were fully aware of that. I mean, everything was kind of like provided for you, your meals, your food.
Clothes, didn't have to get hand-me-downs from the basement.
Oh, yeah. Wow, excellent. What was your first interaction with money?
When I used to babysit as a teenager.
Do you remember how much you used to get back then?
It's probably like $8. Probably start $8 an hour,
Okay.
I mean, the economy is different now. Now it's like you have to do like 15 an hour. But yeah, $8 an hour, I think, is where it started. Maybe went up to 12, maybe.
Do you remember what you did with your first paycheck in a way, or the first time that a parent paid you for taking care of their kids?
Yeah, I remember.
What did you do?
I think I probably spent it on lip gloss or some clothes or something. A teenager. Maybe a book. I was a huge book reader.
Oh, nice.
So probably a book from like Barnes and Nobles.
Nice. Excellent. We're going to go over our first section called Dollars and Cents. And this one is about behavioral questions to evaluate your money habits. We have selected 5 random questions. So the first one is, what are 3 purchases that you regret and why?
Okay. I would say extended warranties, like warranties on electronics or appliances. because most electronics and appliances nowadays work really well. Number two, I would say like clothes, like expensive clothes that I bought only one time and used it for one time, like let's say bridesmaid or something dress. They're usually expensive. And because, I only used that money one time. Yeah. And then lastly, I would probably say like expensive restaurants. Like when you eat that food at a restaurant, digest, and it goes away. It doesn't stay, I'd rather spend expensive things on things that are lasting. And I'd rather, I know it's hard to cook at home. It takes longer and it's harder, but it's definitely cheaper than restaurants. Absolutely. They can charge you plus the tip.
All right. Question number 2 is, where does the majority of your check go?
To children's care.
Oh, okay. You have, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes.
So when it comes to child's care, you're talking about having them, someone else taking care of them, or when it comes to buying their clothing, their food, and
yes. So I'm a stay-at-home mom. Okay. Most of the time, do not have to get a babysitter. But I'm talking about diapers, wipes, clothes, because they're always growing out. Yeah. But also their sports, their activities, piano lessons, things like that. Kids are always growing, and Arizona is good with homeschooled though kids. So tell them.
All right. Third question is, what have you bought based on an impulse or emotional influence, and who pressured you?
I mean, just top of my head, I think I've bought clothes at Target, while I'm just supposed to be shopping for something else, but I see cute girl clothes. I have a boy, girl. And for some reason, buying girl clothes is so much better than boys' clothes. I also have a boy and I don't get that same excitement. And it might be society pressure because girls are kind of meant to be more of the spenders or have cuter clothes. It's pretty well-known fact that women spend more money. So businesses will try to get women, All
right. Now the fourth question is, what is a financial literacy topic that you would like to be more proficient on?
I think taxation. I don't know much about it, and I think it should be taught early on to kids.
All right. And then the last question is, what does financial independence mean to you?
It means that I can financially take care of my needs and necessities by myself, fully by myself. And my wants. Just me.
Excellent. Alrighty. So that concludes the dollars and cents section. How would you describe your relationship with money?
Tricky.
Why would that be tricky?
Because I'm an overspender.
What do you usually overspend on?
Restaurants, going out, running shoes.
Okay. I mean, when it comes to running shoes, we could also see them as an investment since, it's an activity that you do.
It's just when they get worn out, you have to buy new ones.
So you constantly have to. Oh, so you also kind of have
they're always coming up with new styles, new fast ways, more comfort. So
how many pairs of shoes do you have? A lot.
Oh, shoes?
Or running, just running shoes, yeah.
I have 5 right now.
Okay.
But I would say more 4.5 because my 5th one is wearing out.
Okay. So maybe it might be time to buy then, a replacement for that pair.
Give me 3 months.
All right. What is the best financial advice that you can give based on your personal experience?
I would say you buy property or land or a home. It's a great investment. And you have a home, a place to stay. It's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Alrighty. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what is the worst financial advice that you have received or heard of?
From my experience, I would just say the worst advice is wait until you're financially stable to have kids. Just from my experience. I had kids young and it was before either of us had college experience, or I had some, but it was before he graduated. He didn't even start college. So yeah, I think you could still make it happen with families' support.
Excellent. All right. Are you comfortable with your current financial situation?
No, because I'd like to be financially independent and I'm not.
Okay. Do you have like a plan ahead that you would like to pursue in order to achieve that?
I do, yes.
What do you have in mind?
I'm going to go back to school,
Okay.
as I said earlier, and go back to school.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to go over our second section called Would You Rather? Same process as the previous one, just 5 random generated questions. The first one is, would you rather marry someone rich who cheats on you once or someone with no money who is faithful?
I would marry someone rich who cheats on me once.
Okay.
I think once being the main word here. And I don't know, it's nice to be financially stable. You can work things out. Like, we're humans. We can forgive. You know, that happens. We have weaknesses. And in this world, like, money is pretty much everything. You know, even if we were to get divorced or counseling, that's cost money.
True, yeah.
So, once we have money, I don't know.
All right, great. All right. Now, the second question is, would you rather pay off your mortgage early or use the extra money for home improvements?
I would use the extra money for home improvements because I could improve the home and sell it for more.
Great, yeah. Definitely a good way to capitalize, on the house a little bit more. Yeah. Third question is, would you rather prioritize saving for your children's education or your own retirement?
My children's education, because I don't plan to retire. Okay. I know it's like a big thing right now, but I don't really like it. I want to work. I want to work until I die, so.
Okay. You like to be like outdoors, like you like having your routine then? I
don't like the idea of like waiting for retirement. I don't know. I feel like I want to be a hard worker throughout my whole life, and I think you should do something that you enjoy as your job. That way you don't really feel like it's hard work. Like, it doesn't. Retirement, I feel like it's a trick by like maybe the government or people, society. I don't know what's the big deal is. Like, retire at 50. Why? What are you going to do? Travel? You could travel for your work. I know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I definitely respect, yeah. I mean, it's your own experience, and I have to say, like, it's really, really good. I like the way, that you see it. It's a little different, but it's really, really good. Now, the fourth question is, would you rather focus on accumulating wealth for financial security or prioritize experiences and enjoyment in the present?
Yeah, that one is easy to me. I would rather enjoy the present because you never know when someone leaves this earth. True. And you never know if someone gets sick and then they're not as available, or you get sick and then you won't be able to live in the moment as much. So yeah, I would definitely live in the moment. Money is not, yes, it's important. It's a big part of this life. Like, they've made it so, but you kind of have to, you balance it. Like, you don't want to be so stuck on money to where you don't enjoy life in the moment.
Okay, excellent. And then finally, the last question is, would you rather encourage your children to pursue higher education or explore vocational and trade opportunities?
I would say trade. I want them to go into a certain trade just because I think in the end that's what's going to matter. If they're really good at something and they're do a really good job, people are going to want that, whatever they're good at, especially their need, their assistance with it. They're going to pay more money if they're really good at that. Let's say they're really good mechanics. You're always going to need a mechanic, even if like there's robot cars. You're going to know certain things, about how cars work and operate. And if you're really good at it, people are going to pay you more money. Where education, it's like, it's good to be good, but it's about like different subjects that you're good at. And I don't know, I have a lot of friends that have bachelors, but they don't even use bachelors for work. So you might never use your bachelor's, what you graduated, majored in.
Excellent. All right, so that concludes our Would You Rather section. What is the best financial decision that you have ever made?
I bought a house.
Great.
Yeah, buying property is really great investment, and selling the house was really good.
Do you remember for how much you bought that house?
Yes, it was November 2019, and we bought it for 165,000.
Oh wow, really good price.
Great price. 3 bedrooms. Yeah, it was about 15 square feet, which is good.
And then when did you guys sell it, and what was the amount?
Yeah, so we sold it 3 years after that, November 2021, and we sold it for $250.
Wow, $100,000.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow.
It was the most money I've ever had. You know? Yeah, it went up. And I made home improvements on it. So that's why it sold for more as well.
Excellent.
So we did spend a lot of money on that house. I mean, we renovated quite a bit of stuff there.
You also mentioned that you didn't pay a lot of money in your wedding, and that you didn't spend a lot of money in college.
Yeah, so like, if you could get your parents to pay for your college or get some scholarships, you know?
Yeah.
Because universities, going to college is just like the first expensive thing that you will do. And it'll put you in debt. You know, a lot of people in their 40s are still paying off universities. So
the other one was that you didn't spend a lot of money on your wedding.
Yeah, people like way overspend on the weddings. Way overspend. And it's just a one-time thing again. It really doesn't matter. Like, what really matters is that you two are going to be committed to each other. And family and friends is nice to have. You can still have that. We told our parents that we're going to get married, and we got married 5 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom planned it all.
Oh, wow. How much did you spend on the wedding?
I don't even know. I don't think what him and I actually personally spent was $100 on the photographer. That's it. Wow. Yeah, and they're good photos too. So
excellent. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what is the worst financial decision that you have ever made?
Like, when I had a large amount of money, I wished I spread it out more, spending it. So little by little spent it, saved a ton, you know, and instead of spending it all at once. That was like the worst thing I've done.
So what was like the original amount that you guys had, and how did you spend it? Like, what were you using it for?
I spent it really fast on trips.
Oh, what was the original amount? Were you talking about like thousands of dollars, like 10, 20, 30?
I think it was like 30.
Okay.
Yeah, 30,000.
And how long did it last? The 30K?
Not long.
Not long?
Like a year.
Oh, wow.
I feel like that's really fast.
That's really fast.
I took 3 trips to Europe. And he took trips in America. So yes, they were spent on an experience, and like those experiences, we have pictures, you know, that's great. But like, that's one thing I would go back and change, is I would just save a ton of it. Oh, you know what? Actually, my husband, he went to a shop and got gold and silver with some of his money. So he was smarter than me.
So you kind of like saw it as like, okay, this could also be like an investment.
I'm pretty sure you still have it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and change one financial decision, which one would it be and why?
I would, when I was still having kids and they were young, probably go to trade school and get some type of trade that I was really good at, so that I could work now and have something to fall back on. Yeah.
We're going to go over our last section called What Do You Think? This one is more about opinions and thoughts and money. To process just 5 random generated questions. Question number 1 is, how can someone save more money?
You spend less than what you earn and you save. That's how you save money, right?
Question number 2 is, should kids know how much their parents make?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
100%. Ever since, like, as soon as they can start understanding money, and my kids, they start understanding money 5. You know, you start them on chores, you give them
like an allowance
for doing, well, you give them like 5 cents for doing laundry or something. My kids are not slaves, I promise, but you start them, you know, I think as soon as they can understand money, and kids can understand it's such a big part of this life, money is, that as soon as they can understand it, the sooner they can make sure that they can have enough of it. as themselves, independent and earn it,
Yeah, you're really making them like appreciate the value of like, okay, in order to get something, I'd say 5 cents is quite low. It should be like $1 maybe.
Okay, folding laundry.
Oh, okay.
Folding laundry, not doing like a whole load.
Okay, but still that's more work, because then for the, like folding it. But I mean, if you have to wash it, they just have to like throw it into the machine. That's it.
Folding is the hard part.
True, yeah.
You gotta organize it in pants, shorts, socks, so 5 cents is pretty good.
Okay, all right.
Depending on your age though. Because like my son, my 8-year-old, he understands that 5 cents, I'm like ripping him off. But my 5-year-old, she's more than happy. She's fine. In the end, I'm paying for their stuff anyways.
True, yeah. All right. The third question is it good to be frugal?
I think sometimes it's okay to be frugal sometimes, but most of the time you should save your money and try to be frugal.
Fourth question is, what factors should someone consider when buying a home?
They should consider how their options and assistance in home buying, because there's lots of options in like buying a home, and I think they should consider buying a home as soon as they think they could buy a home instead of waiting. Like, don't wait, buy a home. There's options and assistance that could be, especially for home buyers, but they have it even for second home buyers,
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, and finally, the last question is real estate a good investment?
I think so. I think real estate is good investment because there's always going to be people buying a home.
And like you said, in a, what was it, 3 years, or that you made the $100,000?
Yeah, you could invest. It's a great investment.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Finally, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience? Do you have any final thoughts?
I would say, like, think about where money came from. Like, who started money? Because I believe that, like, there was a time where people didn't have money. Money wasn't even a thing. And that people traded their, whatever they're good at, making knives or whatever, for other goods. So I don't know. Something to think about, because like it makes it kind of open your mind more, because sometimes you get so stuck in thinking money, like I always have to have money, but like where did it come from and why is it here? Don't fall into the trap of like making your whole life about money.
Tatiana, thanks so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks.